Good morning. Welcome back to SBJ Weekend Review. My name is Keagan Holsey. To my left is Chad Holsey. How you doing this morning?
Fantastic. Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well on this beautiful Monday morning. Not too freezing cold, a little chilly, but I like it. This is my kind of weather right here.
Perfect.
Just let it stay right here. Little sunshine, though. Get a little sun shining, and I'd be pretty happy.
Hoping we get a little bit of sun so I can put that headlight in, but...
Yeah, so they make vehicles now where you have to take the whole front grill off and everything just to change a crazy light. It's pretty nuts.
A whole lot of work just for one bulb.
One bulb. I don't know why they make it so hard. We've watched the YouTube video, though, so we're qualified to fix it. But it seems like a lot of work.
What's step one?
Step one is to reach underneath there, and there's a latch release, a light release.
That's
thing.
step number 2.
That's 2. Wow. Well, I don't know then, but all I know is what a hassle. I'm glad I don't have to do it.
It's going to be a big pain. I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to go without headlights for a little bit because I don't want to do all that.
Really, you should do it. It'll probably take you about an hour.
Yeah, well, we had some Waffle House this morning. So we got
did.
Breakfast of Champions. We're ready to go, ready to film a banger of an episode for you guys here today. I don't know what was going on with the audio video stuff on the podcast last week.
It was annoying.
I think I'm using free editing softwares, and it's not ideal. Every now and then something goofy happens. I did the same thing I do every week, and somehow something goes wrong. So hopefully that won't happen this week, but no promises.
We do apologize, though. I was listening to it going, am I saying that before I'm saying that? What's going on here? But I was just listening to it on the Apple Pod, so I didn't watch the video. I hope the video wasn't too bad.
Well, the video, for some reason, when I started, I matched the audio to the video, and it's perfect for like the first 10 minutes. And then as it goes on, it's like the speed of the audio is faster than the speed of the video.
Yeah, I don't know. All I know was it was interesting. So we apologize for that. We're going to try to do better, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
It do what it do. So...
Got to say something, man. It's a podcast.
I thought you were leading this thing. You're the host. Where are we headed? What's our thoughts this morning? Talk about last Wednesday night?
Last Wednesday night we didn't really do a lesson. We filmed the movie trailers for the movie in the park coming up, which started editing those. And the first one is it coherent. I could watch the clips and see what they were trying to. I let the teens pick what they want to announce with their trailer and let them have full freedom of how to do it, and I just recorded it, and I'm going to edit it. I have no idea. There's a couple groups I have no idea what the story's supposed to be. It's like a collection of random clips, and there's no like direction notes at all, so I have no idea what even the theme is supposed to be.
So a little more work that needs to be done there.
I think we're just going to have to scrap their videos, and I'll have to just write something for them.
It'll be funny.
2 of them, I understand what they're trying to do. No issues at all. But there's this one that makes no sense to me at all.
Well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. But
yeah, so that's all we did all of Wednesday night. We didn't do a game or anything. We just spent the whole time, let them split up into groups and take time writing.
Be creative.
Something, and then filming it, and then... Of course, one of them I have to film by myself. I haven't even started on that. Apparently, we got a green screen somewhere here that I got to find and set up.
No, you don't have to find it. I'll show you where it's at. I know where the green screen is. Actually, we have a couple of them, but we have a nice big one that you can do stuff in front of. That'll be nice. So we have it. So us Wednesday night, we talked about Joseph. I had a screaming headache, man, for some reason Wednesday, and I had that headache for 3.5 days. It wasn't until this weekend that headache finally chilled out. I don't know why. I never have headaches that long. You know, I talk to people in the church that have migraines like that. Miss Julie has migraines, and I think Miss Green does, and I know Mike Hyatt does. And so there's several folks that have headaches like that often. I don't. So it was kind of weird to have that headache for that long. But which made Wednesday night was great. Our numbers were down a little bit, but man, the spirit was good and everything was good except for that headache, man. It was not a good thing. It was not a good thing. But anyhow, yeah, we talked about Joseph and we're looking at their lives. So what we looked at was Jacob. Of course, that's Joseph's dad. Jacob's name means deceiver. God changed his name to Israel. He is one of the only people we know that wrestled with God and came out on top. Of course, he came out with a limp, but he came out on top, if you will. And he said, I'm not going to let you go till you bless me. But we find that in his later stages, the boys have come back. They won't let us go back and get more food if you don't send Benjamin. And he's like, well, Joseph is gone and Simeon's gone, and basically saying that they're dead, that they are no more is what is the wording. So they're dead, and so now you want me to sacrifice Benjamin? He's like, I'm not going to do it. Well, then they get to where they run out of food and they're starving to death. And he's like, hey man, go get me some food. And they're like, hey man, that guy said he's not going to see us again unless we have our brother. So unless you let us take Benjamin, we're not going to go. And then one of the brothers say something crazy. He said, man, if anything happens to Benjamin, you can kill my 2 sons. That is crazy talk anyhow. But
you see that happen a lot through the Bible. People just throwing up crazy promises.
Yeah, stuff you're like, why are you making that kind of a deal? That's a crazy deal.
I believe it's Judges 12, the story of Jephthah.
Yes.
Where God promises him, victory through the war, and he says, after God's already promised that in the middle of the war, he goes, yo, God, if you let me survive this, the first thing that walks through my front door when I get back, you can kill. And of course, it ends up being his daughter.
His only daughter.
It's like, hey, man, you were already promised the victory. Why are you throwing up promises now, making deals?
You're making deals that you didn't have to make. And so anyhow, you just see where, Jacob, he finally said, well, and of course you find that Jacob's all about Jacob, right? And he's like, well, if I must be bereaved of my kids, then so be it. Go get food, that kind of deal. And you're like, man, he's kind of a drama queen, And so that's what we talked about last week, and just, how we as men need to trust God. And we may not understand what the future looks like, but ultimately what God was trying to get him to the point where they head back down and they're ultimately going to move to Egypt, and the whole family, all 70 of them, and he just couldn't see that. Of course, that's easier to talk about because we knew what the conclusion is. We know what's going to happen in that story. But what about our own story? Do we trust God when things seems crazy? Seems like there's been loss. Seems like, and then they come to find out, Joseph is still alive, Simeon's still alive, and everybody's doing good. So what we think and what is reality, or what God plans are, could be completely different, right? So it was good, and a good number, a good group of people. We have a good group of guys that come in there every week, and we just have a good time. It's a good time, except for the headache. The headache was the bad thing, but we survived it, we lived it, and now we're moving on. So we head into, I guess, Sunday.
Well, I feel like there's something else that went down. Was there like an event or something? What happened Saturday?
Saturday, I went shopping with your mother and your grandmother and your sister, and I drove them around and took them wherever they wanted to go.
I'm so jealous. You sound like you had a much better day than I did.
It was the best day of my life.
Yeah, I'm very, very jealous there.
Well, you should be jealous. We did get to eat breakfast with Ashley, my niece, and
in Atlanta, or where'd y'all go?
It was in Woodstock, and we had a really good time. It was
she met y'all halfway or something?
Yep, we ate a good breakfast and had a good conversation, and it's always good to see Ashley. She's just a genuinely nice person, and very friendly, and seems very caring, and I don't know, anyhow. So we got to hear about her new squeeze and her new man, and so that was fun. And it was a good time. And then, of course, Friday night we all went out to see, because Nana was in town, Tracy's mom, went out to see Kelly and Ben and Colton and Colton's girlfriend, Sydney.
Yep.
Good. Woo. Hey, I did. That's pretty good for me. Thank you.
Very good. Very
Sydney.
good.
And the little man, his name's Hampton. So it was fun to see them and visit with them.
Donuts. That's what I was thinking of. They sold donuts Saturday morning.
They did sell donuts. Yeah, the kids sold donuts. Of course, our Krispy Kreme donut sales always go really well.
Were y'all affiliated with that at all?
No, and that's a beautiful thing. We're to the point where we are, it's good when you get to the point where you can let other people who can do it, and you step out and let them have it. So that's what's happening with that and the chili supper. I mean, I didn't have, other than counting money, I had nothing to do with the chili supper and eating a little bit of chili. So
thank you to those that showed up and supported them.
If you bought donuts Saturday, thank you so much. And of course, all those proceeds go. I think each kid got like $80 for selling donuts. That's not too bad for a couple of hours worth of work. And,
well, what's nice about that is the faster y'all get out there and buy them, the faster everybody gets to go home.
Well, it's incredible though how fast they sell. I mean, we've had 100 dozen donuts and sold them in an hour and a half. I mean, it really does not take that long. People seem to like them donuts. As I said Sunday, people want crack, man. It's kind of like crack. People want it.
Yeah.
They really, really like it. So another thing, by the way, added to the list of things I'm not allowed to say from the pulpit.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, Saturday was a good day. And then I think we all came home tired, took a nap, didn't do a whole lot. So
I had a pretty good weekend.
Yeah.
Got to see some good people, which actually ended up inspiring a big portion of my Sunday school. It was one of the conversations I had with someone there. But do you want to do your Sunday school first and then me? That way it's not you're having to do two things back to back.
Yeah, that'll be fine. We're looking at this whole idea of in Daniel when the people were taken captive to Babylon. There's a verse in there that says to live peacefully. The whole idea of go, prosper, do good. It's not your home, but build homes and have families, and because the Lord said you're going there for 70 years. That was a punishment, and some of the people that are there and going to be a part of that to not follow their God, obviously, but follow the speed limit, follow the rules, do what you're told as long as it doesn't go against God's word, assimilate and be a part, without taking on their gods. And so the thought for us as Christians, this is not our home. We're just passing through, but we are required to follow the law. If the speed limit's 35, the law is that we go 35, If the law says you have to have both headlights working, well, then we should follow the law and have both headlights working. So what does that look like for us, as Christians? And it's just a portion of what we've been talking about of just living out our lives here on earth while we wait for the Lord's return or for us to go to heaven. So, what does that look like? And one of the conversations that we had was living with integrity, living with excellence, meaning if you're going to do something, do it good. Don't just halfway do it. Don't do a bad job. I mean, if you've got, so kind of my philosophy, talk about a guy who was a street sweeper, and that's what he did. That's what he did for a living. That was his job. He would sweep the streets, and he said, "I'm determined to be the best street sweeper there is." And that was his attitude, because I'm a child of God, because I am a Christian. And so I think for me, I should try to be the best pastor that I can be, that God's created me to be. You should try to be the best youth pastor that you can be. And instead of doing it halfway or being lazy about it or really not putting forth the effort, as a child of God, we should do it with excellence. We should do it with the best we know how. And that doesn't mean...
I believe it's like a form of worship.
Absolutely.
And 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, whatever you do, whatever you eat or drink, do all for the glory of God. And doing your job, even if it's like a secular job, doing it to the best of your ability is a way of honoring God, because you're obviously stewarding Him. If people know you're a Christian, they're watching you, and if they see that you're excelling and giving your all to anything, it's a form of worshiping and pointing back to Christ.
Yeah, so that was our whole mantra. I mean, that's the whole thing we're talking about is why do it with excellence? Well, we do it because we're doing it to honor and glorify God. I even talked about, we remember y'all were kids. I don't know if you remember me ever saying it, but school was your job. So do it good. Go, you got to put in this amount of time, but don't just put in the amount of time. Go and work and be studious and do good and put forth the effort and try versus just sitting there vegging out and not putting forth the effort. Why? For the honor and glory of God, and say, well, this is stupid. Well, it may be, but do it for the honor and glory of God. And we know that, God will get the honor and glory out of it. And we got to remember there's people watching us. People know that we're Christians. People know that we go to church. And so we want to be that light. We want to be that testimony. And then we got into integrity and just, do it honorably, do the right thing because it's the right thing, right? Whether anybody's looking, whether anybody's around, if no one else will ever know, what's the integrity in it? Are we going to do it right? And then we talked about even just stealing time from work. Somebody brought that up as part of the conversation of how people will, so you're supposed to be there Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, right? That's your job. That's when you're supposed to be there. But you have people that'll clock out 30 minutes early and they'll steal time. Or you have people that will be there, but they're not actually working,
When I was welding, there were some days I'd go sit on the toilet for a very long time and just scroll on my phone.
Yep, stealing money. And I think there's times here like we'll be on our phones and different things like that, and as long as our work is done, that kind of thing. But I think there are people that are doing everything they can to not work when then what's the point, right? Except so if you're just living for a paycheck and you're only doing just enough to get a paycheck, well then we're not really living for God, right? We're living for self gratification, and so that was the whole conversation. The whole conversation was in everything we do it for God. So.
I had a friend in high school that worked at Ingalls, and he would go clock in and then go back to his car, watch movies for 8 hours, and then go back in and clock out, and then go home.
Wow, man, how did he pull that off? Did nobody wonder where he was?
I think they knew. That's why he never got a promotion. He stayed at the same spot for 3 years.
Yeah. Well, then that's funny. You got a guy like that, and they go, "Well, I'm going to quit this place because I never got a raise and never promoted."
There's no opportunity for me here.
Yeah. There's no opportunity for me here. Meanwhile, you're sitting in your car watching movies. You know what I mean? You're putting in a poor job, and then you complain because there's no promotion there.
Like Jeremy Sochan.
I don't know who that is.
Played for the Spurs for a while. He was supposed to be the face of the Spurs. He was a starter, didn't do anything with his starter position. He was lazy, didn't play defense, didn't really score a whole lot. Then the Spurs got some new players, so he got moved down to the bench, and then he left the Spurs to go to another team, and in an interview said there was never an opportunity for me here. You were the starter and the face of the team. You just did nothing with it.
No. Yeah. See, I think we live in a world where everybody wants it handed to them, but they don't want to work for it. They don't want to do it.
It was handed to him, and he still didn't do it.
Still didn't do it. Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at in our society, right? Handed the golden egg, right? And then we fumble it. So
and then he goes to the Knicks and then beat the Spurs this week. So
I did see that Sunday. It was
not a good week.
It was a bad week.
So sick of playing the Knicks, man. We can't seem to beat them.
Well, maybe in the playoffs. But so anyhow, that's what we talked about at Sunday school. It was good. We had a good crowd. Numbers were up. Man, fantastic numbers for the week all the way around. The only way it'd have been better if somebody would have accepted Jesus as their Savior. But man, all in all, it was a good weekend. So,
my Sunday school, we were still in the book of Luke. We were reading the story where the lawyer goes up to Jesus and he says, "What do I have to do to inherit eternal life?" And Jesus says, I believe Jesus says, "What do the scriptures say? How do you read them?" He says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength, all that. And Jesus says, "You've answered correctly." How does the rest go?
Is it Nicodemus?
I don't remember. I think it just said it was a lawyer, at least in this account. But
so then did he ask him who was my neighbor?
Yes, that's okay. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. So he said, "And love your neighbor as yourself." Jesus says, "You've answered correctly." And he says, "Okay, well then, who is my neighbor?"
To justify how he treats people.
Right.
So, yeah.
And then Jesus tells the parable of the guy on Jericho Road,
the Good Samaritan,
half dead. Priest walks by, doesn't do anything. Levite walks by, but then the Samaritan stops and goes above and beyond in helping him. Gives him his animal, takes him to an inn, pays for it, and then also opens up a line of credit of hey, whatever you need to spend to get you back on your feet, I'll come back and I'll pay that later. And so with that, we went over how Jesus is showing us not just who to love, but how to love. And we see that, obviously love costs you something. It wasn't just that he saw and was sympathetic, but he saw, was sympathetic, and then acted upon that and went the extra mile and did more, even though, as a Samaritan, he's got every reason to hate this guy. they were pretty awful to the Samaritans, pretty nasty towards them.
If anybody had a right to walk over and keep going, it would have been the Samaritan.
100%.
I think that's the reason why Jesus used, and the two guys that did walk over and pass by or whatever, those of everybody, it's going to be them because they're the most holy, they're the most righteous, they're the most religious, and they just kept on walking. And so I love that Jesus used such a crazy contrast from.
Well, he always he likes to use Samaritans.
Yes,
the way I broke it down for some of my students who are very big into Harry Potter is that Samaritans are the mudbloods.
Yes.
And
that's good.
Hermione Granger's a mudblood, and Draco's pretty nasty to her because her parents weren't witches and wizards and all that. And I love me some Harry Potter.
Do you?
Big fan. It's my second favorite series. Actually, no, it's probably my first now. Pirates of the Caribbean, number 2. Anyways, not important. Actually, Dark Knight Rises is probably up there. Let's move on.
Man, you have digressed.
I love movies. Okay. Anyways, get back to the story. But one of the things I said is to give you kind of some context that makes you a little bit more sympathetic towards the Levite and the priest, even though there is, till you think about there's somebody dying, and obviously that's more important. For the priest, though, I heard this pastor in this series. He was talking about how if a priest was leaving Jericho and headed to wherever, he was most likely there for the purification process thing, which takes 7 days. And if he was to touch someone that's dead or sick, he'd have to restart. He'd have to go back and start that 7-day process all over again, or else he wouldn't be ceremonial clean to live out his religious duties back home. But then also, Jericho Road was super, super deadly. You don't
Very
stop
dangerous.
if you were to stop. There's so many places. I think they said it's called the Blood Pass back in that time because there's so many spots on that road that people can hide and rob you, and you can end up exactly like how the guy that we're reading about.
Yeah.
And so to stop was very dangerous. So not only is it inconvenient for the priest to stop, but it's also insanely dangerous. And all that goes to show you even more how much the Samaritan went above and beyond with his love, because he was inconveniencing himself. He was putting himself in danger because he saw a need that he had the means to fulfill. And that's what we were kind of going over. There's a verse, I think it's Proverbs, I want to say 3:27, where it basically says, if you have the ability to help someone in need, you should do it.
Yeah.
I think it says don't hold back from doing good that is due, or something like that is how the verse goes. I believe it's Proverbs 3:27, and I could be wrong on that, but you just have to look it up for yourself, or should have been in my Sunday school class. But anyways, moving on.
Wow.
But then the other thing we kind of talked about is, who are we in that story? Because I think a lot of times we would just quickly think, okay, well, we're the busy priests. We think we don't have the time to help someone in need, or we're kind of in this tunnel vision mode where we're not looking for needs to fulfill, but we're worried about ourselves and on our own path. But I heard this guy say something that I thought was interesting. He said, what if we're not the busy priests, and what if when Jesus is telling the story that the person that we are is the one that's bleeding out and dying on the side of the road, and we're the ones that are in need, and maybe there's someone who has every reason to hate us, or has every reason not to go out of their way and do something for us, but they do. And what if the Good Samaritan's actually Jesus, who lays down his life for someone that doesn't deserve it, and sacrifices so much of himself to help us and restore us. And I thought that was a cool way to look at that story and think about it. And then when you understand and you really break down how much Jesus has done for us, it should inspire us and push us to be loving towards other people around us, even when we think that they don't deserve it. Because a lot of times we're most likely willing to help the people that we either feel like deserve it or the people that we like. But to be in the Samaritan's shoes and helping someone that I have every right to not like this person and do this, and I think that shows love on an even deeper level. Is doing it for someone that you wouldn't normally do things for.
Well, the whole thing is extreme. It's dangerous for him. He's now ceremonially unclean. He's putting money up. He's putting his own safety up. He's putting his own comfort up. He's putting, you know what I mean? So that's what love is. Love is all in. And I think the Samaritan, which everybody hated, which made everybody disgusted and to think about, he was all in. And even though if the table were turned, this individual that he's happened most likely would not help him. So that's it's a huge picture. Not just he was just a good guy. Well, no, the whole thing is bonkers.
Yeah. I think there's a quote that we learned. I was like 16. I was doing SALT. That their definition for love that they gave us is going out of your way to do good for others, even when they don't notice, don't care, or won't reciprocate.
Knowing that you won't get anything.
You're not expecting to. Hey, maybe this will pay off good for me later. Hey, maybe someone walking by will notice this. I told a story like when we first moved here and I was younger. Like if I remember there's a few times like I would see a piece of trash on the ground and there wouldn't be anybody around, so I wouldn't pick it up, but I'd kind of hang around in the area, and then when an older person happened to be walking by, I'd go walk over and pick it up and throw it away so that they would see me and be like, wow, such a good kid.
Nice.
And so it's like those
strategic.
There's so many times you can be doing the right thing but have the wrong attitude about it. And so if I'm doing stuff for man's attention, well, that's all the prize I get there.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm doing it for God's glory, my reward's in heaven, and that's far greater than some old guy going, "Wow, good Keagan, look at him go."
Yeah.
I'd rather have the reward in heaven than here on earth. But I think we get so stuck in this perspective of life where everything we do is either for our own benefit or just for the pressures of the people around us and what we think they will look at us and be like, yeah, that's great, good for him, and instead of fully living with, hey, God's opinion's the only one I care about. But I think it's easy to get wrapped up and consumed in wanting everybody around you's opinion to be so high of you.
And everybody likes a good pat on the back. I mean, everybody does. Yeah. Ain't nobody that doesn't like.
But then we also kind of, because the week before we were talking about living a life that is dependent on the Lord. Being like, I can't do anything without you. I'm not going to try to do things on my own, but I fully recognize my need for you. And so I kind of jumped back to that there at the end because I wanted to tell this quote that my friend dropped on me. While I was in South Carolina Friday morning having coffee with one of my closest friends from camp named Will Dalton.
Willie D.
He's working. I think he serves at a church there in South Carolina that's really awesome, and they're killing it. But he goes to school at Bob Jones University, and we were talking, and he was basically saying that he's just proposed to his girlfriend. He's finishing up college, doesn't really have a job opportunity. He's applied for all these different jobs, and they're all turning him down, and he's starting to get scared because he's like, I'm about to step into a season of being a newlywed, and I don't know what any of that looks like. I don't even know if I'm going to stay in South Carolina, or if I'm going to move somewhere, and there's just so many unknowns. And while he's telling me this, he drops this quote on me that I thought was really, really good that I wanted to share with the teenagers. He said, if dependence is the goal, then weakness is the advantage. And I had to stop him right there. I said, stop talking, say that again. And I wrote it down in my notes because that's really, really cool and a really cool perspective. Because obviously when we're in these tough seasons, it's easy to look at it as like, man, my life sucks. But if we look at it from this perspective of this time of weakness is an opportunity for God to really show up in my life, and it's a time for me to really learn how to be dependent on God. I kind of told him a thing. Obviously, I can't speak from experience with getting married or having kids or anything like that because I've never been there, but I've heard you tell a bunch of people, I think one of your friends was saying that you were asking him when he's going to have a kid, and he said, well, I'm going to wait till I'm ready or something. And you said you're never going to be ready for things like that.
Well, someone goes, well, we just need more money. Well, you're never going to have enough money.
Yeah, no.
You're never going to be completely ready.
And so obviously you shouldn't just jump into stuff, especially like jumping into a marriage and stuff. But if through prayer you feel like this is the direction God's pulling you, then stepping into that, one with having a full trust in His guidance in your life, and then following through with the dependence on Him through that season. Because I think sometimes we could even step into a direction God's pushing us out of trust, and we're doing good there, but then the second things gets hard, instead of depending on Him and relying on Him, we start trying to white knuckle it ourselves and trying to figure out how to get through this, even though, hey, God's the one that pushed you into this direction. He's also going to be the one that's going to carry you through this if you just have this dependence on Him and you're still remaining in prayer. How many times have I been praying for guidance, and then the second I get that guidance, I step into that season, and then I'm not praying for, okay, how do I keep maintaining this? How do I keep staying in this direction? I was like, okay, well, I got my answer. This is the direction you want me to go. Now let me try to do this on my own. And then I realized really quickly, oh, crap, if I would have just stayed there, kept praying, and kept allowing Him to guide me through the direction that he's already guided me, how much easier does that look like? And so we're really trying to hammer in right now in these past couple chapters, how to love like Christ, who to love like Christ. And, one of the things I said is, because the week before, obviously, we were talking pretty deeply on being dependent, living a life dependent on him. Loving like Christ and having these fruits be prevalent in your life all starts with a dependence on the Lord. Because if we're not dependent on the Lord, then it's kind of our own fruits that would be on display and not God's, where we want God to be the one spilling out and being so obviously known through us instead of just our own qualities and traits that obviously aren't going to get you anywhere compared to the fruits of the Spirit. When you look at those, you meet some, like there's one of my friends that I got to hang out with in South Carolina, and I've never met somebody that's so full of joy that it just radiates out of them. And that's one of those things that obviously I believe that just comes from how close and disciplined he is with God, that this joy just radiates out of him. And being around him, you're like, dude, something's wrong with this guy. There's no way anybody can be this happy, and it's not fake. He's like on fire for God, and it just radiates through him. And that's how all of the fruits of the Spirit are. If you are being dependent on the Lord and you're close with him, all the fruits become so prevalent in your life. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. It's pretty much all we talked about Sunday.
Nice. Well, we talked about in the services, the early service. We were down a little bit in the early service, but it was a good service. And then in our second service, we were up a little bit. So we're back over 200 if you combine them both, and which was really good. It's exciting. I'm glad for that. And with the February and the snow days and the end of January and just all the different things going on, plus with winter break, our numbers have been kind of crazy, but it was good to see Sunday school back up over 109, I think, for Sunday school this week, and over 200 in the two services. So we're grateful for that, man. It's really, really good. We talk about the importance of reaching somebody, and instead of us trying to say, how I'm going to reach this entire community for Jesus, my challenge this week was just try to reach one person. Let's focus on one person, and let's pray. Lord, who do you want me to reach? Start praying for them and start looking for an opportunity to have a conversation, and then have a conversation. And so the whole idea was to do that. We looked at the story of Philip in Acts, where Philip had been in Samaria and had been preaching the gospel, and then Peter and John showed up and had a good service, and everything went really well. And now they're on their way home, and they're stopping at all these little villages on the way home, on their way back to Jerusalem. And then the Lord said, hey, Philip, I want you to go over here towards the desert, towards Gaza, where the Philistines used to live. Well, I want you to head this direction. And instead of Philip complaining, arguing, or asking why, he just went. And the Bible tells that story where Philip sees a guy in the back of a chariot who was from Egypt and was reading Isaiah 53. And so God said, hey, go jump in the back of that chariot and talk to that guy. And so he went and talked to him and led him to the Lord, and then baptized him. And what we see is, Philip went and reached one. God had a purpose and a plan for him to reach that one individual in that area on his way back from Jerusalem. He left Jerusalem on his way back home to Ethiopia, to Egypt. And so we see where Philip was obedient, and God put that individual in their life. And I think as Christians, we have a responsibility to be a light and a witness and a testimony to anybody that we come in contact with, right? And so, and not just whether you're a preacher or not, but if you're a child of God, if you're a Christian, our job is to spread the gospel and be willing to talk to people about Jesus. So my encouragement was, as we head into, we're heading closer, we're a month out from Easter, we're one day out from our Good Friday service, a month and 1 day out from our Good Friday service. And so we're looking forward to that. We'll have a big weekend planned. But, just to beg the question, is anybody going to heaven because of you? Mm-hmm. Have you invited anybody to church lately? Have you witnessed to somebody? Have you had a conversation with somebody? Which, by the way, before you can have that conversation, you have to be living a life and acting in a manner that would draw people. You know what I mean? So it's all about lifestyle. It's all about how you live, and you're doing it for God's honor and God's glory.
And earlier you said, even if you're not a preacher, I think people working secular jobs have an even more big opportunity because there's people that'll never step foot in a church but would be willing to have a conversation with somebody outside of a church. That after you've built that kind of relationships, there's people that you're going to work with that will never, maybe they're like so anti-church and will never be willing to step into a church that him and I won't get an opportunity to have them hear what we have to say. But you, through living out that life and just, answering questions, because I think like guys like Alex and Tucker, there's guys that see the life and their walk and they're approaching them with questions to the point where, they didn't even have to go out of their way to start conversations, but like just through living out that life and slipping in little things like mentioning that you go to church or mentioning stuff about God, just casually in passing. Everybody's got questions. All the lost people have questions, and once they've trusted you and they see that you're not like a hypocrite or living out the opposite of what you're speaking, then they're more willing to approach you and start asking you questions. And so I think it doesn't matter wherever you're at, whether it's a secular job or you're working in some form of ministry, God's placed you where you're at for a reason. And you have a responsibility for the place that you have been put.
Well, and that goes back to even what we were talking about in my Sunday school is live with integrity, be the right kind of person, do the right thing because it's the right thing, and we're going to do it because no one else is doing it. Well, I'm doing it because I'm a child of God and I'm a Christian, and so all those. Once again, my Sunday school lesson went really well with what we were preaching. But yeah, really excited. And so we made up these cards, and they're colored, they're glossed, they look nice. They give all the information about what's going on. I don't know if anybody took any of them or not, but they're out there, and hopefully people will take an opportunity to take those to invite people to come to our Easter weekend and what we've got going on, but even then take the other white cards that just say Shiloh Baptist Church on it with our information. We have a couple of thousand of those. You can take those out and
I saw Sam Bagwell took a picture of his card and then posted it on his Facebook.
He did. Awesome. Yeah, Sam also did the other day, just put the church logo up and invited people to come to church. So, and that's good. Take that opportunity on social media and on those platforms.
If you're one of those people that's like terrified of going up and starting a conversation with someone, in today's world, there's really no excuse when you can just slap something on social media real quick. You're not having to have any face-to-face, but tons of people will see that, especially and that's, golly. When you see the church post stuff, if you just share that, that reaches all of your friends. And if everybody in the church were to share what we see on Facebook, well, then, hey, all of Jasper has now seen this, and it didn't cost us anything, and we didn't have to have any awkward conversations, but 2 buttons, and now everybody in the community knows about what we've got going on here. Yeah.
A simple like and share on Facebook is huge. But and I think sometimes we get to where we're so busy in our life that we don't live intentionally. We don't live on purpose in the aspect of Lord, who do you want me to talk to today?
Get complacent, want to cruise.
I think so. Yeah, and I think a lot of times you're just trying to get through the day. I need to get through this. I get this work done. I need to get home. I'm ready to be home. I just want to, it's been a long day. I'm tired. Like this morning, I can't keep from yawning. I don't know what my deal is, but man, I need a nap or something.
But, even with that, like uncomfortability is what causes growth.
Yeah.
Whether it's like you're in the gym being uncomfortable, pushing too much weight, well, that's causing a lot of growth. Having these conversations that you normally wouldn't, maybe you're leading like a small Bible study in your house, and that's something that's kind of like scary. All these things that'll make you grow spiritually when you're being uncomfortable and you're being stretched in those areas. Whether it's mentally, spiritually, physically, if you're being uncomfortable and you're being stretched, that's how the most growth occurs.
Yeah.
I said most growth.
You did, but I was going to let it slide. I was going to let it slide. But yeah, and I think, because I think it's really easy for Christians just to get complacent. And so that was the whole purpose for my challenge Sunday morning was to, maybe waking us up out of our complacency. We've got a lot of good things going on here, but I don't want us to get complacent. I don't want us to ever go, we're good enough. Well, no, man, as long as there's still lost people out there, we've got work to do. We've got stuff to do. We need to do it because we want people to go to heaven. We don't want people to go to hell. And so we need to be living our lives in a manner hopefully that people around us see Christ and will
like Benny Hinn.
Well, no, probably not like that. But we could get a towel and run around and just slap people with it. Yeah,
take it.
But yeah, it went good, and the crowds were good, and the people were good. And,
which, by the way, Avery Dickinson does an incredible Benny Hinn impersonation.
Does she really?
It's fantastic.
Maybe she's the future female Benny Hinn of our time.
So good. What's that girl's name? Something Hickey.
Oh, I don't know.
You haven't seen that lady?
No.
She's cuckoo too.
She's cuckoo, huh? Well, I don't know about that. And then afterwards, we had a fundraiser, another fundraiser. So Saturday they did donut fundraiser, and man, they were busy with fundraisers, weren't they? A lot of things has been pushed and stacked just due to the 2 weeks that we had the snow and ice. So we had chili and chili cook-off.
Poor Daniel, I brought chili 4 different times.
But you got people bringing chili. But we finally got the chili supper cook-off going, and it went, and it was good. Third prize went to a first time.
I was so happy when she won.
Yeah, Miss Carol, she won third prize. This is her first year to participate.
I didn't even know she was entered. So
I didn't
when they
either.
called her, I was like, come on.
Yeah, I didn't know either. And then, of course, Michelle Green, who always does really good cooking, she came in second place. And then Miss Julie Box got first place. Now, she said she didn't want to be entered because she had won last year, but if to take her out was going to mess up everything that they had done, their whole system. So they told her, tough rocks, you're in, and she won first place. So you were one of the judges. You, Alicia, and Trent Ellis were judges. So maybe discuss to the folks who are like, that they want to win next year, that they take it pretty serious. And
well, here's the deal, Chad.
And that they want to know how you judge, what you're looking for a chili cook-off.
I'll go through what I look for, but just know I wouldn't write any of this down because next year I will be stepping down as a judge and I will be entering in myself.
He's coming in his own self.
Because after I've realized there's little to no competition, I could come in and win this thing very easily. Wow. It seems like most of the people in the church don't know what chili is.
Wow.
So this is what I'm looking for.
So hang on, let me ask this question. Is it chili if it has beans in it or doesn't have beans in it?
Either way is fine with me, because as someone from Texas, I'm not going to argue with people from Texas, but people from Texas say there's no such thing as chili with beans.
Steve Gray would say that.
And he posted something that hurt my feelings the other day.
Yes. Yeah, I'm about to tell you.
Dude, I commented like 20 laughing emojis because it made me laugh so hard when I saw that. And, so Texas people, they're picky. For me, I love beans.
I like beans in my chili.
So I'm cool with beans being in the chili.
Me too.
That's not what limits my definition of chili. However, there was, I'd say at least a third of the entries to me weren't chili. They were good, but they're not chili. And so I'll use Brett Clue as an example because me and him talked about this. His was one of the best tasting things that I was given, but it was just like pulled pork. It wasn't like actual chili.
Gotcha.
And so although his tasted better than anything else out there, I'm not doing a barbecue cook-off competition.
That's in a couple
weeks. I'm doing a chili cook-off competition. Right. And so, and there's guys, if you look it up on Google, look up what beans go in chili, it'll tell you. And so if there's a bean in there, even if it, again, like I said, even if it tastes good, if it's not a chili bean, I don't even consider it for top 3.
Wow.
Normally, I would be against white chicken chili being in the running, but I think the past couple years, because I think at first, when it was first entered, Michelle Green's, I gave her an honorable mention because it was good, but I said it's a white chicken chili, I'm not going to include it. Dude, this year it tasted so good.
Well, she put a sign on it that it identifies as a red bean chili,
which also helped push me up there.
So as long as you identify, it doesn't matter if you really just got to say you identify as chili.
And I know there's people at home going, well, you just said mine didn't qualify as chili, so you didn't even consider it. But
right.
Hers is a white chicken chili. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to hold your hand while I tell you this.
Hold my hand. Thank you.
Although
that's awkward.
Her white chicken chili was closer to chili than some of the other things that were entered. Therefore, she got consideration while others did not.
Wow.
But, guys, like I said, you don't have to worry about any of this next year because I'm sure whoever the judge is next year will not be near as harsh as I am. I'm sorry. I was shocked. This year I had more people upset with me than I ever had. I've been judging this chili cook-off for the past 5 years, and I've never had like this many people come up to me complaining that they didn't get a top 3 place.
Right.
And like, guys, I'm sorry that I have a standard, and I think judges should have a standard. Obviously there's things that I put in my chili that a lot of other people wouldn't put in their chili.
We're going to find out next year.
But I believe that it doesn't remove the qualification of it meeting the standard of what chili should be. Now, next year, if I don't place,
you'll know it's personal.
I'll suspect foul play.
You'll suspect.
If I don't get at least, because let me tell you this, guys.
But here's the deal: you don't know whose chili's what. You just know a number.
Correct. I have no idea.
You have a number. You eat it. You say you like it or don't like it, and you categorize.
But Julie Box has slipped me $100 bill the past 2 years.
Has she?
And has told me what number her chili is.
Man, next year I need to do that.
I'm just kidding. In all seriousness, when we all collectively agreed on Julie Box as being the best, I genuinely thought, and I don't try to hand out wins to specific people. I just want to make that clear. But I genuinely thought the person I was giving first place to was Daniel Long, because Daniel Long makes incredible chili, and this was good chili, and I thought for sure this is Daniel Long's. I was even shocked when it was Julie Box for the second year in a row, which is another reason, Julie now, she's the first person ever in Shiloh Baptist history to two-peat a chili cook-off win. So that's why I've decided to step down from my stand and start competing, because I would like to be the greatest of all time of Shiloh Baptist.
You want to change some things.
I'm going to three-peat my first 3 years in, and then I'm going to retire and go back to judging until someone beats that.
Oh, I got you.
So I'm gonna go in, get a few rings, retire for a little bit, might go play baseball for a couple years.
Right. Yeah.
And then when someone takes it, I'll come back and we'll see what the Wizards has to offer.
And redominate.
Yeah.
I got you.
I would, because I would like to get a trophy made for myself that says GOAT of Shiloh Baptist.
Well, so they hand out really the plaques that they hand out are really nice.
Super nice.
Super nice.
I don't know if people are just being nice to me because I'm a good-looking guy and they don't want to upset me, but everybody that's had my chili says it's one of the best they've ever had.
One of the best. Well,
for me,
and it's deer chili.
Well, don't tell them that, because they don't.
Oh, it's not deer chili.
Because I don't want people to be like, well, you can't enter venison. I don't know what the rules of the meat are.
I don't think. I think.
My fear. What if there's a judge that's like, I don't eat venison.
So you don't want your mother to do it.
Exactly. Here's the deal. I have never had a chili that was better than my chili.
Oh wow, that's
and I'll even say this: I'm a horrible cook. I'm not good.
It's praising.
But my chili, and today at breakfast I didn't want to say anything to Alex. Although his chili that he made at Holly Springs was incredible, it does not touch my chili.
You don't think he's going to listen?
I don't care if he does. I just didn't want to steal his thunder while he was on a high.
Oh wow!
Now that he's come off that, I'm cool with chopping his legs out from underneath him.
Gotcha.
I firmly believe that my chili is better than any chili I've had.
Oh wow, that's so cocky.
And it's not. So, in all honesty,
wow,
I'm sitting there judging. I'm looking at Alicia. I'm looking at Trent, and I almost felt bad for them that they didn't have a chili that was the quality of mine to be eating. They're wasting their time.
Wow.
15 cups of a waste of time.
So, how many people you think you've offended in the last 3 minutes?
Here's the deal. I don't believe someone's cocky if they can back it up. So this next chili cook-off, if I don't get first place, grill me. I don't care. Hey, throw me to the wolves. But just know, I'll suspect foul play if I don't win. If I do win first place, though,
we'll never hear the end of it.
Then really I'm just backing up everything I've said here today. And not only that, but I think it is re-edify the word that I'm looking for?
Yeah, I don't know.
It solidifies the fact that I know what I'm talking about as a judge, and you guys need to get off my back.
There you go. Wow.
Because there was some very unhappy people, and they don't go to Alicia or Trent. No, they come to me, the guy who's got 5 years experience doing this thing, and nobody's ever had a problem with it until this year. So just know.
I think people are getting more competitive the longer it goes, and the longer it goes, that they're expecting that they have expectations. So but
there were less heavy hitters than last year.
You think?
I don't know if people
There seemed like a lot of chili.
There was more entries, but less that were like, man, that was really good. It was like, okay, that's chili, but nothing that was like, hey, chili. Brother, I'm chili.
So I wonder if we did chili, would it still be chili if I threw in some sausage?
Yeah. Oh, I think Brett's done that before, and I think Brett placed with the sauce. He did a very spicy thing, had some sausage in it, and it was incredible.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think maybe we need to look up the definition of what a chili is. Yeah, maybe we need to do that.
Well, I'm excited to come in and, man, Julie Box, I'm coming for you. You will be taken off your throne. Like I said, I'm going to three-peat, and then I'll go back to judging. And then y'all will see the standard.
We got to set the bar.
I'm going to show you what good chili is supposed to be like.
Wow.
And look, I'm not even going to do this. You know
You're being hurtful to a lot of people.
You know how every time I make chili, I make way too much?
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and make that same amount. That way, everybody in the church can get a real bowl of chili, and just don't worry about the other crock pots sitting out there. Keep walking.
They can take a bowl home.
You'll have plenty of my chili to go around. And because trust me, after you have one bowl, you're going to want to go back for number 2. So,
there you have it, folks.
If I've offended you,
he's just kidding. A little.
Just know I was generous on this podcast today.
Oh, please.
I was kind.
Come on. Stop it.
And so, I'm excited. I've heard Alicia makes a great chili, so I think Trent's making her step down from judging next year, and she will be entering as well.
Nice. Got some new blood getting in here.
So my predictions for the placements next year.
Oh, wow. We got predictions for next year. Got
Keagan Holsey, first place.
Wow.
Alicia Ellis, second place.
Wow.
Alex Pence, third place.
Wow.
Nah, Julie Box, third place. Alex Pence, fourth place.
Wow. So you left Daniel out altogether.
True. There's only 3 spots. I think that the newbies are going to really come and take it home.
Newbies are taking over. Daniel makes a good chili.
Daniel makes phenomenal chili. I was shocked that he didn't place.
Brett makes good chili. He just did something different this year, and that's okay.
I think the unique route is. I like that. I like that you're trying to be different, but I think he stepped outside of the chili.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it wasn't chili.
He stepped outside the chili bowl.
It was incredible. It tasted so good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
I didn't have
chili.
any. I didn't know what it was, so I kept moving.
And the way I kind of tried to describe it to my fellow judges is, you can bring me the best slice of brisket, and it would make me so happy, but it's not chili, so therefore it doesn't get a place.
Gotcha. No, I get what you're saying. And
now, if we're doing a barbecue cook-off, Brett probably would have taken that thing home with that.
He was killing it.
It was so good.
Well, good for Brett. I like Brett. He's a good guy.
So, don't know who the judges will be next year.
Not Keagan.
If I had to guess,
Keagan.
Here's the way I look at it. If Alicia enters a chili, Trent can't be a judge.
I agree, because he's going to know who's...
He'll recognize the chili.
Yeah, he'll be able to look at it and tell. I think if Mom made a chili, I'd be able to tell that it was hers.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So
is chili still chili if you put corn in it? Or does it turn into like a goulash?
Personally...
Yeah, let's get to your personal thoughts.
I don't believe corn should be in chili, but it didn't alter my votes when I found corn in the chili, because I don't mind it. Still, I love corn.
I do too. I don't think you can never go wrong if you throw some corn on something.
It's just, I don't think normally corn.
Tracy's been making these Mexican enchiladas, and she's throwing corn on them for some reason. It's fantastic.
No, I like those.
I love it. It's so good.
But
put corn on it, man. It's good.
And for me, the reason why I didn't go so heavy against corn being in it is because I put some vegetables in chili that a lot of people would probably say shouldn't go in chili.
Yes.
So if you're going to experiment with some vegetables, so be it. I think
it's just you don't think they should put different beans.
Stick with chili beans.
Which, by the way, that one that had different beans, I did try that. It was really good.
But I have a secret bean that I include that I'm not going to tell anybody which bean it is, because I'm competing next year.
It's the French bean.
And then after I retire, I'll announce what beans I use that make it so much better.
That puts it to the top. I got you.
Here's the thing. I think there's 2 things happening. Half the people are way overcomplicating chili.
Yeah, I think so.
And the other half aren't complicating it at all.
Gotcha.
There's no effort, but no oomph. Julie Box has had the perfect amount of spice.
Nope. Little hot for
that's
me.
why that's what helped me a lot. I will say my chili is not spicy at all.
For Chad. Yeah.
Is it? I don't remember.
No, not bad.
Rate my chili on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'm going to go about a 4.
Wait. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. I'm just kidding. He's being rude.
You've been rude for the past 30 minutes. You've offended everybody in the church.
But the difference is one person was being honest and one person was lying.
Please.
And I was nice on this podcast.
Good.
I could have been a lot more mean.
We need to be nice.
But I feel like a judge's job is to critique.
Well,
what kind of judge would I be if I wasn't inspiring and equipping the next competitors?
Generation. Gotcha. Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. It was fun. We had a good time. A lot of people stayed. Thank you to those that did stay and participate. Thank you for those who made chili. Thank you for those who bought a bowl and hung out with us. I know a lot of folks had to leave, or a lot of folks just left. A lot of folks can't eat chili. I guess it would mess them up. But those who did stay and participate and contributed and gave, thank you.
And as Aiden Fisher always says, we put the fun in fundraiser.
We put the fun in fundraiser.
Speaking of Aiden and Emily working the fundraiser, and they're not even going to camp. Shout out them.
Good for them. They're good kids, man. I like both of them. Aiden's a funny dude if you'll sit down and get to know him.
So funny.
Yeah, I mean, he's funny. He's
hilarious.
A funny guy. I did something out here. I don't remember what it was, but he looked at me and goes, I saw it. It was so awesome. So, no, he's a good dude. Good dude. So, I'm glad they're here. But
yeah, well, we're coming up on 56 minutes here. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening.
And if you're offended, don't be, because really it doesn't matter.
If you're offended, go ahead. There's what's it called?
I don't know.
There's a suggestion box that sits on the floor right beside my desk. Any complaints you have, you can just throw them in there.
Really? I didn't know you had that.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
It looks like a trash can, but it's really a suggestion box. Hey, because the reality is I don't care about your opinions. I'm the judge, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to kick some tail next year. But thank y'all for listening. Hope you learned something, whether it was about chili or something spiritual. We're here for you. We're here to keep pushing you along in either your spiritual walk or your chili cooking journeys. Leave us a comment. We miss hearing from you guys. Nobody's commenting anymore. Where'd you guys go? But have a good rest of your week. We will see you on Wednesday, and y'all can tune in at next Monday for another episode.